Out the window late one night, we saw a terrifying sight. Our neighbor murdering his wife.
Allegedly.
We search for clues to find the truth.
Please help me.
To catch a killer on the loose.
There's blood everywhere.
Become the greatest roommate sleuths.
Anybody got any clues?
Guys, hello.
Hey,
Hi out there.
what's going on?
Welcome, people listening. This is our very first podcast. Our neighbor's a murderer.
Allegedly.
Guys, allegedly.
Maybe,
We're not
possibly.
sure. He definitely is, but we don't know.
It's worth looking into.
For sure.
And that's why we're here. We just to explain what's going on a little bit to you guys. We are three roommates. My name's Guy. We have Brandon. Say hi, Brandon.
Hi, this is Brandon. This is the one that they call Brandon.
That's Brandon. And Michelle.
Hi, everyone.
And we all live together. Well, Brandon and I are actually roommates. And then Michelle is our next door neighbor right across the hall.
I'm not the murdering one, though.
No.
No,
Just
no.
like be clear.
No.
Okay.
No, she comes over all the time and she hangs out with us. So she's kind of like an honorary roommate, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
which is harder to say than it probably should be.
Honorary-
Honorary roommate.
honorary roommate.
Thank you so much.
Of course. So here's the deal. We, I guess the best way to explain this is a little bit ago, about 4 months ago, we got pretty bored watching TV. There's nothing on TV. We were spending most of our time like searching through Netflix and then
And our internet service is garbage. It
Yes.
goes out all the time. So like you'd sometimes not even Netflix.
we were spending more time watching a buffering screen. Probably. Yeah, so we started watching the apartment building across the street from our window. And it is just so much more entertaining finding out what people are up to. Just real people.
So we're on like the 4th floor of
Right.
our apartment building.
Right.
They're on like the 3rd floor across
Yes.
the way. So we have like a little bit of a downward angle, but like I feel like
Yes.
that's to our advantage.
And by them, just so you guys know, we're talking about the
Was
suspect.
them. It was them.
It was them. They killed their wife, guys.
For sure.
We're not sure, but like I don't want to use the word sure, but like definitely.
Yes.
If I on a scale that usually is used from 0 to 100%, like 80% at least for me, and I feel like I just need that couple extra nudges to walk a little bit closer to 100.
Yeah.
And I'm there.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we were watching, I had to go to the bathroom, but I'm probably up there in like 82%.
You miss a lot. You miss a lot.
I do miss a lot. I have a very small bladder, so, and it, it's hard. It's hard to just stay in one place
Yeah.
and watch out the window.
You know, if it weren't for human needs, I think we would all be at like a max, like 110%
Yeah.
positivity.
Yeah. Okay, wait, hang on though. Just to clarify, so we're watching our neighbor across the street who's on the 3rd floor, and he has a wife. We think she's his wife.
Seemed like it.
She lived there for a long time. As long as we were watching, she was living there.
Hold on, I'm gonna write down a note. We need to check for ring. We need to look for
Yes, we should have looked for a ring. We've been calling her, his wife, but technically we don't really know. But anyway, she's been living with him for a while.
Yeah.
And then about 2 months ago, gone.
Have not seen her since.
No, I feel like as much as we were watching, we would have seen some indication, like packing happening or
Right.
something.
All of her stuff is still there, yet he's taking out a lot of garbage.
Like one person living alone. We're 2 people, and
Yes.
we take out garbage once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we also let it sit there for a while.
yeah,
we're
well,
lazy about taking
We're on the
out
4th
garbage.
floor. We don't have a garbage chute.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk that thing
I
down.
mean, Brandon, this might be a roommate talk that we should have later, but we should probably be taking
Yeah.
out the garbage a little bit more.
well,
than-
yeah, and the bowls of cereal in the sink. But
Yes. Yeah, but anyway, I'm sorry. Should I have not brought that up like during the podcast?
no, it's fine.
Because I feel a little bit awkward because I was going to say something. I mean, I love coming over here, but There
The
is
garbage?
a scent. There is a scent at this apartment.
Oh wow. Okay, this is a wake up call. I think.
Well, the gnats were my first clue. Like I knew that was when the gnats show up. Then you've got to start making those like little traps with like you put like dish soap into like apple cider vinegar.
Yes.
And you catch them that way.
Yeah, and you put that in a dish, and then you cover that with saran wrap and poke holes into that.
I think there was part of me that enjoyed the hunt.
We're here for tips, people.
They
Write
are
these
attracted to
down.
like vinegar and wine, and then you put just like a drop of dish soap in so that they can't like scramble out of there and escape. And it kills them.
It's
They
basically
drown
a torture chamber.
a little bit.
God. Someone once told me just to put a cucumber out, and I feel like this sounds much more effective than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that just sounds like a waste of a cucumber.
Do you ever see those
you-
things at like county fairs where they hang down and they catch all the wasps? Like the wasps get in and can't get out. Do you know what I'm talking
haven't
about?
seen
What kind of fair
kind of thing.
is that?
Well, it's not like an attraction. You don't pay to see
Come
it.
on over, step right up, see the wasp catching machine.
I'll just torture some animal.
It's just like a lake of dead wasps in this liquid stuff. Or June bugs? What are those? There's like Japanese beetles that get caught in these like bags. Maybe that's just from my hometown.
cicadas.
No, they were like small, colorful beetles. Just these little guys that would get stuck in these bags. Like it was such that they could get down and
He's in the
Oh
kitchen.
my God.
He's in the kitchen. Guys, Professor X is in the kitchen. We call him Professor X, by the way. That is our suspect, his name, because he is a bald man. He is very bald. Just to give you, just to paint a little.
pristinely bald.
Yes, shiny
Like
head.
I feel like he seems like a pristine person. He's very meticulous, this guy.
Again, we don't know. It's alleged. Like we don't know if he's a professor, but
He doesn't give a professor vibe to me. I'm not exactly sure where I would place him career-wise. He does organize his entire life. His apartment looks beautiful, modern. I don't know.
I never see him with like a side bag. I feel like that's a professor thing.
You're right.
that's
You're
true.
right.
He doesn't have a satchel.
Yeah.
No satchel bag.
yeah.
So definitely professor is off the table. We can stop the university search that we
Yeah. Well, you know what bag I do see him with? You know those it's like an old-timey thing. Like, why is this person still carrying around like those doctor bags that like sort of have this like rounded top to them, and when you open them, they've almost got like hinges, like a mouth that hinges on top.
You know what? He could be a doctor, and then
He would
Using
have
his
the
tools
knowledge.
to kill
he
her.
would,
have the
yes,
knowledge.
he would have an understanding of anatomy.
That's what they think Jack the Ripper was, a doctor, because he had such an understanding of like how to disassemble the human body.
Every doctor I've ever met, I've been a little bit suspicious of. Like, you could easily be a murderer and get away with it.
Yeah. It's like they like blood. Like they like taking blood.
It's one step away from a vampire. Like, they are the natural world's vampires,
100%.
other than mosquitoes. But so anyway, he's making pasta or something.
There have been times when he goes in his kitchen and I just watch him staring inside of a cabinet for like way too long. Like, this is your house, you know where your ingredients are. Why are you staring in that cabinet for that long?
Nothing new is gonna appear.
No. He gets lost in his own brain when he's just standing there, and I don't know what's happening during
Yeah,
that time.
no, I feel that.
And I feel like I worry about his diet as well. Like it's a lot of carbs.
What
No,
is
I'm
he doing
serious.
all
I'm
the time?
serious, you
Yeah.
guys. Like, and they say there's like research that shows when you have like too much starch that you can't think like correctly.
clouds
And
the
maybe
mind.
maybe that's part of this. Maybe that's part of the motivation. He's like, I'm not trying
You
to
think he was driven crazy by pasta? Is that what
No,
you're claiming,
I'm-
Michelle? That
I'm-
seems a little.
I'm not saying he was driven crazy by pasta. I'm just saying
He was
that-
driven to murder.
that has to be a part of it. I'm saying that's a part of it.
That's right,
I
we-
wouldn't rule it out.
He's always eating pasta.
And
Here's the
our
thing.
neighbor's a murderer. We want to warn you that carb loading might lead to murder.
All evidence is good evidence. You know what I mean?
It's true.
You may as well collect it all because you never know what's going to come in handy. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, if someone cooks pasta every night, there's something not right.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I did want to clarify that we call him Professor X because he's bald, and that's basically the only
yeah,
tying factor to that.
as in like the X-Men
Professor
leader,
X,
Professor
yes.
X.
He is
Professor
not
X.
in a wheelchair.
No wheelchairs. No. Well,
No psychic abilities? Maybe. I don't know.
We can't. We don't know that.
We
Yeah.
can't prove that in a court of law.
Prove it.
We can prove that he doesn't have a wheelchair because we've seen him walk.
No, if he was psychic, actually we could prove it because like he would know we were talking about him right now. Like we would be in trouble. He would like be here. He could like hear our thoughts. He could hear
That's
them.
true. That's a good point.
I do feel like Patrick Stewart is a good imagining of this person.
But like a more handsome.
yeah.
Not that. Guys. Oh, we're gonna get hate mail. Not that Patrick Stewart isn't a handsome.
handsome?
Fella, but I feel like this guy's.
We love Sir Patrick Stewart.
I'm gonna say it right here, right now. Professor X he's a good-looking guy.
Oh, don't go into it.
I'm serious.
We're sorry to the audience at home.
This is
Guys.
okay. Here's what we'd like to say. I think Michelle and I is like we are not endorsing any kind of like prison love or like murderer. What do I want to say? Like
Affection?
empathy or
Okay.
anything with a possible murderer.
Look,
but guys got a thing.
But guys always had a thing for Professor X. Like both the comic
Just-
version
yeah.
and the movie version.
I like myself a bald man. But listen, I think whether he murdered her or not, I can put that aside and just say objectively, which one is it?
Subjectively means only to you. This is your opinion. It's
Subjectively.
just yours. Objectively is like without question, no one could possibly.
Subjectively, I was right. He's a nice looking guy.
Professor X or the murder. Our Professor X.
Yeah.
Now I don't know.
Okay, both. But
Hold on. Let's start with Patrick Stewart. Yay, nay.
At this point, he's too old.
Okay, so that's
We
a
are
nay.
sorry again.
Patrick
I feel
Stewart
like-
fans, oh my God, the Patrick Stewart podcast fans are not going to listen to this.
We just lost half our audience.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so Patrick Stewart. Okay, so murderer Professor X then
yes.
is the
and
one.
I think he wouldn't have gotten Nancy if he didn't look as good as he did.
Okay. Well,
Nancy, by the way, is the name we gave his wife.
from afar, it's hard to judge charm. I don't know where he lands on like,
He's a romantic
maybe he's a
guy.
smooth talker.
He's a romantic guy. Remember
He
the night?
cooks a lot.
Remember the night he like did the rose petal thing all over the floor, and she walked in.
That actually was very romantic.
That was nice.
He looked so good in that lighting too. In the
That was the
candle.
moment when we were watching out the window. I thought this is a romance movie
Yeah.
we're on.
Yeah.
And then like
Like this all started off very innocent. We were just like curious about our neighbors, and like that seemed like it's kind of like when you watch people make out on the street for too long, and you're like, it's like watching a
Yeah.
movie.
That was
Yeah.
also, I think, exactly a week before we didn't
Everything.
see her again.
do you feel like I feel like up to that point, I mean, watching for 4 months, I hadn't seen anything that was like that big of a gesture. And I feel like those like big grandiose gestures are like trying to make up for something. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yes.
that's good. Brandon, that's
Write
why
that
you're
down.
here.
Write that down,
Write it down.
Brandon.
I would write that down. So you're suggesting that maybe like some sort of argument took place and he was trying to make up for
trying
it.
to make
Maybe he
up
was
for it.
trying to make up for it. Maybe it was a tactic. Maybe it was a kill tactic. Lure him in with kindness, take him out with meanness.
That was beautiful.
Whoa.
I think I had a fortune cookie like that once. I don't know.
I just feel bad for Nancy. And, like, we call her that just because she just seems like a Nancy. And she just
She
seems
looks a lot
so
like a Nancy.
nice. And,
I think, well, we tried Barbara first and it just didn't fit.
yeah, she was not a Barbara.
No. She was definitely a Nancy.
She had a kind of like retro. It was like a 1950s, like very like go get 'em, like full of energy kind of
This was
attitude.
like the girl. Have you guys seen 500 Days of Summer?
Yes.
You know, like the beginning part where Zoe Deschanel's character walks onto the bus
Yeah.
and it's like everyone looks at her. Like that was Nancy.
Yes. Very like manic pixie dream girl.
Oh my
you go.
God.
Yeah.
That's
With a
so
guy at, like twice her age, a subjectively good looking
By
guy.
my standards, very good looking.
Why don't they see? Okay, I guess here's the thing.
I'll
like,
reel it in, guys.
I guess I don't know. Maybe not a lot of killers, but there are some killers who are good looking, and that's like how they work, right?
That's an interesting point because by that you're suggesting that he might be like a serial killer. Like not that. Am I like stretching that?
Well, I don't know.
thought?
I mean, you have such a personal relationship with your lover/wife. Something could happen that this is a one-time deal. You go over that edge. You've had too much pasta, and it happens.
You guys, please.
Michelle, seriously, you do not need to explain yourself.
That wasn't a joke. That's seriously something in that moment clouds your brain, and then you go overboard. And then there's those people who stare into the cabinet for like 20 minutes looking for something that isn't there, who always have something brewing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know which way. I think that's part of the mystery, because like if he's killed one person, he needs to be, brought to justice for that. If he has or will kill more, all the more important.
Okay, I think that brings us to an interesting... I want to do this, and I think it'll be really good for us to just see where everyone's at with this. I think each of us should say how we think he killed her.
Okay.
Because I personally don't think, just from watching him and knowing him, how, at least as much as I feel like I know him, I think this was, if he did murder her, it was a crime of passion. I think so. I don't think he's a serial killer. I think he had a bad night, one too many spoonfuls of rigatoni,
Yep.
and...
You eat pasta for a month straight and like tell me how you feel
Yeah.
after.
Well,
okay?
I feel like you eat anything for a month straight, like you're in some kind of weird social experiment.
Look,
You should get
Exactly.
out of it.
That's from my notes. He had pasta almost every night.
No, that's a lot of pasta.
That's a lot of pasta.
No, you're right. Anyway,
Okay.
sorry.
This is just something I want to throw out there.
What?
What if the night he killed her, he had pasta and he's like stuck in that moment?
So
Just
he's been eating pasta
over and
every
over
day.
again. I don't know. It's just a thought. I don't know how
But
that
wait,
psychology
he
would
was
work.
he was eating pasta for a month before
Before
she
he just likes
went
pasta.
backtracking on that idea. He might just
okay.
like pasta.
Well, you get something in your brain and then like you reassess all the information you have and you're like, nope, that was wrong.
I think it happened in the bedroom. I think
we need to do we need to have a template.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to trivialize what we're talking about. I know this is very serious.
yeah.
And that we're staking
what
out, we're taking this seriously, but I think kind of like Clue, what if we all just go around and say location
yes, okay.
and the murder weapon?
A location and the murder weapon.
Again,
Okay.
it is like Clue.
I totally agree. We don't want to trivialize, but I feel like with this kind of subject matter, like if you don't keep a sense of humor about it, then you're gonna get too deep
And
into it.
honestly,
So true.
at this point, we don't know that there's an actual dead woman. We think there is, and there definitely is. Yeah. But we don't know for sure. It happened, but we don't know.
Yeah.
and
So,
also Clue had a really good template for figuring out.
I think
There's
I
almost
think it's
always
still
yes.
being used, murder weapon. People still use murder weapon. That term.
That's a term. And I
think the
think
only
it came
thing-
from
yeah.
Clue.
Clue was only missing motive, right?
And
because there's always a person, there's always a place, there's always a weapon.
Well, I think the motive. I guess there isn't really a motive. We just know
In
that
Clue,
Mr.
right?
Body's dead.
Yeah.
Wherever he died.
And someone is to blame. They're all there together. I mean, I feel like the film tried to explain some of this, but really in a haphazard.
But then they
kinda
were
way.
let's have 10 different endings.
Yeah.
Because no one really knows why this is happening.
No, it's just, yeah.
Okay. So obviously my character that I think killed her is Professor X.
Yep.
And I think he did it in the bedroom. And I think it was just a classic strangulation. I really do.
Strangulation?
How do you say it?
Strangulation?
Strangulation. Strangulation. Guys,
Okay.
I just self-rewinded myself.
It's all right. It's on record, though.
Strangulation.
You know what? This is part of the
Strangulation.
process. This is part of the process. We're not homicide officers. We don't
don't
know all
know
the
the
terms.
terms. I don't
This
know
is
the
actually
term.
the first time I've ever said that word. So I'm honestly proud of how far I made it through it.
Yeah.
Strangulation.
Okay.
We're
I'm
getting-
aboard. I just feel like it's good to correct now rather than
Rather
have to.
than me be 50 episodes
Yeah.
into the podcast being strangulation.
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 Yeah.
It is
no.
abbreviated. That'll be our abbreviation for it.
I'm
then.
honestly glad you corrected me on that. And I'd like to take this moment to thank you and ask you to take the trash out at least once a week.
Okay.
Aw.
I can agree to these terms. You
Great.
do the cereal bowls?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Deal.
All right.
Anyway, so yeah, I just think he's a big guy. He's caught up in the moment. Things are getting heated.
Oh, you think this is like during? Like in the bedroom during?
Maybe they were just in the bedroom because he took her in there. I don't know. That would be an easy place to strangle someone, I feel like, if you had to choose a place to strangle a person.
You're at your most vulnerable, right? Like in the bedroom, you're changing clothes, you're doing whatever. That's a vulnerable spot.
Maybe it was late at night and she's just sleeping and he's like, this is it now. Just rolls over her onto her.
It doesn't get more vulnerable than sleeping.
Right. So I don't know.
Vulnerable?
Okay.
Did I say that one
You're
right?
fine.
That's not.
Don't pretend.
That's not a jot. Oh, come on.
Vulnerable.
Vulnerable. Today's word of the day is vulnerable. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that's what it is. So I guess his murder weapon is his own hands.
I feel like he could do it. Like with his hands. I feel like he's got the...
Easily.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the average man could kill someone with their own hands.
Yeah, and the carb loading. He's buffer than you would think.
He's a buff guy. He's got some, honestly, nice looking guy. I'm not gonna...
All right.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just saying. Guys, if you could see him. Anyway.
He's fit.
Well, I'm just like...
He's a
fit guy.
You guys,
person.
As a woman, I feel like there's... I imagine a million ways a guy could kill me just because they're...
Oh, yeah.
That's like something like you're just like taught. You're like, oh my God, these are all the ways. So I have like a very long list that I have not narrowed down yet. I have about 212 options.
Are you like, is it like different options where it's like where it would be plus a murder weapon plus who it would be and then you just mix it
Is it
match?
the- Yeah, is it the clue format?
I've been using the clue format. I've been using that structure. But probably the top one, I think.
This is yours for Professor X or
Or
yours
for
for you?
yourself.
For probably a bit of both, you know, like
Okay.
I just, and like if anything ever happens to me, like please like check through all this list and
Yeah.
like these are like just all the scenarios. But
You're projecting a bit.
I'm projecting a lot, but
It would be helpful if you
that's
could
why
put...
I'm over here all the time. I'm afraid to be murdered. I live alone. I live alone.
Wait, that's the best place to be if you're afraid to be murdered. Like
Alone?
No one can murder you if they're not there.
I guess that's true.
I suppose. But then, I
Like
don't
you're
know.
most likely to be murdered by someone you know. So like I'm more likely to be murdered by Brandon than you are just being alone in your room.
Well, our apartment has those tall curtains that go floor to almost ceiling.
Yes.
Anybody could be back there behind those, right? Even I think that.
But those murders aren't real. Those are like horror
Or they're just
movie
hiding.
murders.
Okay.
No, or like in like the
when it's-
Batman movies where he's hiding in the curtain.
He's just there. Batman as a technique is...
No, I swear,
when
Batman
did that happen?
and Batman Forever, he's hiding in the Val Kilmer
That's
is
behind the
hiding in a
curtains,
curtain, or
waiting
maybe
for what was the female in lead in that one? That was oh man,
I don't know.
Nicole
Kidman.
Kidman.
Yeah,
Yes.
That sounds like
Yeah.
the lamest
Waiting
thing
for her.
Batman could ever do to hide.
just
Just
behind
like-
a curtain.
Like, that seems like a really panicked Batman. Oh,
You're
they're
just
coming.
you're in your apartment alone one night and you just hear, "I am the night," and you're just like, "Where did that come from?"
And then you're like, Batman, get out of my curtain.
I'm just saying
Justice is coming.
I have a lot of Batman related fears and
He's a sneaky guy.
I'm always afraid that Batman is there. But okay, my theory is that they have a balcony. I've also done some is that retcon? Is that like a word where I go out? I went outside of our normal stakeout. I went out
I like that
looked around the house and there's a balcony. Yeah, look up. I don't know if I know what that. You know, this
writing it
again. This
down.
is all new for us. That it's
I feel
Wait,
like
what
that's a
word
good
do you not know? Is it
retcon.
retcon.
Oh.
So
Like a mission outside
what
of
do you
the
call
mission.
it when you go out? You're sending your spies out to go and gather
Like
information. That's
okay.
a-
A reconnaissance.
Retconnaissance. Retcon.
Reconnaissance.
There you go.
Yeah, retcon.
I
Right?
think
That's
that
abbreviation.
does that make up for not knowing strangulation?
I
Yes.
think so.
Okay. Reconnaissance. Guys, the second word of the day is reconnaissance.
So I went on this mission, and there is a balcony, and I think, and there's also sidewalk there, but it looks like it's been washed recently. I think that someone was pushed over the balcony,
Oh, wait a second. That's a bold claim though, because
and it could have been an accident in that case. I don't
Yeah,
know,
but-
maybe I don't know, or there was I don't know.
did he go run.
He
and
would have
like,
had to gone.
Yeah.
Well, because the balcony does not it's not over a main street. So I feel like,
back alley.
if it's
The
in the
back alley
back alley
balcony.
area or something,
Also-
like you could go and conceivably get
just saying,
body out of the way.
convenient for a murderer, but terrible location to put a balcony in a
Yes.
back alley. Like, what view are you getting
Yeah.
of the balcony right like 2 feet in front of your balcony?
It's at
depends
least a
who your
lower,
neighbor is.
Yeah, it's a lower building, I think, up behind that balcony. So I guess maybe they figured
also,
just like,
third floor balcony, not an impressive view at all.
No.
no.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Or in my heart of hearts, I would hope that like she somehow survived the fall and that she's like somewhere out
She
there.
may be
I hope she
elsewhere.
I don't know. I hope she is out there.
She's definitely dead.
That's what
allegedly.
he gets
Allegedly.
zoned off, just like trying to determine like where she's run off to. Where
Oh, you
can I
think
find
when
her?
he's staring into the cabinet, he's like,
Because it seems like
Possibly.
something's unresolved.
Yeah.
he's got like a little Gone Girl situation going on.
There's still, he's not like back to normal, whatever normal is for him, right? Like it feels like he's still searching for some kind of
Yes.
conclusion.
He's not back to normal yet. No problem continuing to eat pasta.
No. He has not lost his appetite.
He's eating that bowl like he's on his second bowl right now.
Why does he make enough for like 3 people?
I think that's just the rule of pasta.
Is he just
I
planning
don't
out a
think
week,
that,
like-
For leftovers.
Yeah, well, he's not planning out like enough for like a week long of leftovers. It's like, I'm going to eat 3 helpings of this tonight.
it's a lot. It's a
Why
lot
does
of
he
pasta.
do that?
I really,
Maybe he's just wasteful. I don't know.
I genuinely can't tell you. I think
He's not
okay.
wasteful. He eats it.
Here's the thing. I just realized I have a theory about the pasta. He exercises a lot.
Yeah, well, when you're going to chase someone down and strangle them, you have to be fit.
Wait, but that's not your theory. What was your
No, but
theory?
I'm saying it could be. Okay, he is cooking a lot.
Okay.
And along with the pasta, he sometimes puts meat into that pasta. He cuts that meat with a knife.
Don't say it. Oh, okay. You know where my brain?
Oh, no.
I thought you were trying to say that he like is
He
cooking
could.
her.
Maybe that's a better.
Oh my God,
maybe
no,
he's eating her
no.
slowly.
You guys.
Guys, why did my brain go to cannibalism so quickly?
That's so
Because it's like a classic.
Scary.
Like that would be more serial killer. If you're going that far with it, and you're not just getting rid of something that you like
Yeah.
despise.
I'd like to think it's just because I'm a little hungry right now, so
That
my
you need
mind
some?
my mind just went to food. Anyway,
Well, I think
what was,
I'm hoping he stabbed her. I'm not hoping he stabbed her.
Oh
Yeah,
my
my
God.
point is-
terrible way to phrase it.
My point is, I'm hoping there's a concrete murder weapon with her DNA on it. We can like nail it down. Like this is what.
So you're
it
hoping
was.
there's like clear evidence.
I want some clear evidence where we don't have to go with any hearsay, like
Right.
she tripped over the balcony, or she choked on a, I don't know. You can see
on a
marks
pair of
strangling.
hands. She choked on a pair of hands
God.
around her neck.
I guess that one's harder to.
No, that's honestly for my thing. They would need to find the body
Yeah.
because there's no way to prove without the body that he strangled someone.
Although if she fell from a balcony, there's got to be blood down there.
Well, that's why I was saying, like, it looked like it could have been washed.
It's also only 3 floors.
Yeah, and that's why I think she probably survived and
Limped away.
limped away.
Yeah.
And yes, I
Now
don't
she's
know.
working somewhere like
she's
she's in like Nevada,
hiding.
like at the casinos,
Yes, that's my theory.
like gambling. I don't know why. Why would she have gone there? I don't know, but I like to think that she's like just trying to make money,
In Nevada,
trying to start a new life in Nevada. I think I just try to be hopeful. But most likely,
This is a lot to
She's
take
dead.
in. This is a lot to take in
And-
because they're all plausible at this point.
Yeah.
yeah, we know so little. And that's honestly a part of what this is going to be is us trying to find out as much information as we can. And to do that, we're going to need to have people come on to the podcast that we think might have some information that could help us.
Witnesses.
We've got a lot
Yeah.
of ideas. We've got people who are in the area regularly.
Yes. Who have seen things, who know Professor X, maybe are connected to him in some way. We have people that have worked in, police investigations, lawyers, officers, judges who are going to come on and talk to us about, like, can we file a lawsuit? What would it be for?
Yeah, where's the line? When do you begin
Where is that
to
thin blue line?
accuse?
When can we point a finger and say, he done did it?
We know.
In a court of law. I want to do that in a court of law. Even if it's unrelated to this case, I just want to one day be in a court of law where I can stand up, point, and say, he did it!
He done did it.
He did it.
Yeah.
But
That's the dream, I guess.
yeah.
Well, that's why it's worth all of this. That's why it's worth putting, because if something happens to us, we're on record now.
Yes, and everyone out there knows. And we hope that you too, like anyone out there, if you have any information about, if you think you know who we're talking about, we're in Chicago right now, by the way. Our apartment is in Chicago. If you
The address is no, I'm just
No, Michelle, never. Guys, we got to keep ourselves safe. But if you think for any reason you know who this Professor X person is just by our description of a Patrick Stewart lookalike without a wheelchair, let us know. We have a tip line.
Yeah.
If
So you can send us any kind of information, even if it seems minute, irrelevant,
Right.
whatever. You know how like on all the procedurals, they like the cops are like, if you remember anything around this date, person, time, place, like let us know. We will use any of that information to our advantage. You can contact us at sleuthmates@gmail.com. That's SLEUTH mates, MATES, all one word, @gmail.com. And you can even call or text to 815-570-9979. We'll get all that stuff and be able to add it into the to the file. Ooh,
Yeah.
we should
and
start a file.
Well, we'll read emails on the podcast and we will play your calls on the podcast as well. We're just trying to amass as much information on this guy, on Nancy, on this whole situation as possible. Oh, he finished. He finished his pasta.
This is the point where he just sits there on the couch. This guy doesn't watch TV much.
No, but he doesn't watch his neighbors either.
No.
Yeah,
So I don't
he doesn't
know what
we're
he's doing.
watching him.
No, and I think we're safe as long as that is the case.
Honestly, there's moments watching him where I wish he did more.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. I'm glad we're all such good conversationalists. Otherwise, this would definitely get boring watching him because he's not the most like fun guy. He's kind of
Nancy seemed like a ball. I
Nancy
would have
was
loved
a
to
ball.
hang out with Nancy.
R.I.P. Right?
This
Sorry.
no, I'm just like,
That really.
I'm sad
guys,
that my chance to
that really brought
have a
Brandon
friendship
down.
with her is gone.
You looked so sad when I said R.I.P. Did you like Nancy?
She seemed nice enough, I liked her as much as you can like.
You're
how
manic pixie dream girling her.
Well,
you don't know her.
She makes
you
me-
don't know her.
Listen,
You
I
watch,
was in
like, a
love with her
movie.
too, to be honest.
and then like you fall for a celebrity, and like you don't know that person, but you've watched him from afar, and it's
They've
like "Oh,
basically
they seem
he
nice."
basically killed off like one of our favorite characters on a TV show,
Yeah,
but like
yes.
a real human being, and this is real life.
This is real.
killed too soon.
Killed too soon.
This is like still season 1 of
Of
River
Professor
hanging
X
with
and
Professor
yeah,
X, and it's
sad.
X-Men Part 1.
a tragedy.
But I mean, I think we got everything we need to get out on this one, and I think you guys out there are all caught up. And on the next episode, we'll have some guest on to help us figure this all out. But until then, love thy neighbor, or they might just murder you. Bye.
Bye.
So many questions yet to answer. Does pasta turn you into a cold-blooded killer? Is strangulation a word? Is Michelle right to be afraid of Batman? And of course, did Professor X murder Nancy? The search for answers continues next time on Our Neighbor's a Murderer.